What's good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. Y'all, we are here today to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, episode 10. And the name of the episode is called Sweet Home Augusta. Okay? Listen, it was a good episode. For some reason, y'all, I really do love the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast. I think that the girls as a collective, I feel like they have been delivering. Even episodes that are supposed to be filler episodes, to me, I find them the most interesting. It doesn't have to be a lot of, fighting and drama and stuff going on between the cast for me to like an episode. Okay. The episode started off, we had a montage of a lot of different scenes. So it started off with a flashback with Dorit over at Kathy's house. And so we gonna end with that because that's what it started off with, and then we rewinded a week earlier. So let's just start. We're gonna come back to that later. Erica. Erica paid Martin Lawrence Bullitt $37,000 for his services. You know what I'm saying? Erica will spend some money. Erica will spend some money, but I don't know. Do we think that Erica is spending responsibly? And they're giving us price tags. I forgot whether Erica was. Is she? I thought that she was decorating Is she decorating the living room or is she decorating the whole house? Well, she got to be decorating the whole house now because I remember him talking about her bedroom. And then now on the next episode, on the preview for the next episode, they had her outside saying that the deck and stuff that they had was going to be remodeled or whatever. I just think that the whole deck and stuff being remodeled, I think that should be for something that you own. Not to, it should be for something that you own. And from what we understand with Erica Jane, she's only renting. So I don't know. And $37,000. I mean, I'm glad that it's clearing, But I do think for the people who I don't blame Erica for the stuff that went on with Tom. But I do think it could still be seen. It's kind of careless with them victims though. But I'm not gonna put that on you, Erica. Next we got Kathy. Baby Kathy is over there getting worked on.
You gotta go to work on Myra's feet.
Kathy is over there getting worked on. At this point, I don't even think that Kathy bathes herself. She over there with an IV drip. Somebody is doing her hair. I'm surprised that she was even holding the phone. There's somebody doing her hands, and the woman that was doing her hands, I don't go and get my nails done or manicured or anything like that. But she also was doing something to her arms. Was she massaging her arms or polishing her arms? I don't know what she was doing. But Kathy is FaceTiming the girls. Well, we only saw her with Bose, but she is inviting Bose, Dorit, and Erica Jane over for dinner. Okay. Next, we see Sutton. Garcelle comes over and they FaceTime Kyle, and she basically is inviting them on a trip to Augusta, Georgia. That is her hometown, and she wants them to come to Georgia to meet her mother and show them her old stomping grounds, basically. Sutton says that she loves her mom, but she warns that her mother is difficult, like mother, like daughter. The only thing that I can think about Sutton's mom that I remember is that I remember when Sutton had her mother there when she opened her store, and she wanted her mother to break down and cry and say that she missed her dad, Sutton's dad. And her mother refused to, and she said that she didn't miss him. Sutton is a Karen, and she seemed to have a hard time understanding that, that was your mama's man, but he was your daddy, but that was her man. You get what I'm saying? So she didn't really, it was a different relationship. You're going to feel a different type of way because that was your father. She's seen him in a different light. But you wanted to force that woman to miss your dad, and that's not how she felt. And I think that's easy to understand. It's the same way that Kyle wanted Sutton to break down and cry about Dorit's robbery. And she was like, yeah, she's both our friends and co-worker, but it's two different relationships. And I still got stuff going on. The same way you felt about that, you should have been able to feel the same way about your mama. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I need to quit saying that. I'm gonna try. But she basically is not inviting anybody else. Kyle asked her, was she inviting the rest of the girls? She said, no, it's a personal visit. Everyone isn't invited. But that she eventually want to get to a place with her mother where it doesn't feel it's awkward. Okay. Next, we got Bose. She's coming over to Dorit's house. They meet at Dorit's house. And they talk about how Sutton has shut Dorit down. Sutton was rude. She did say, excuse me. And she was rude. But I just feel like you should have said something in the moment. You let it be known in the moment that you was disrespected or you felt bad or you was hurt. I think it's lame to be having conversations and stuff about it after the fact, when you could have made a big scene about it when y'all was there. Y'all could have talked about it on the bus. You could have talked about it at Garcelle's house. We don't need to go and have a talk behind Sutton's back about something that she did in front of the whole group. You know what I'm saying? Because me personally, I would have raised hell. I would have got Sutton together and checked that bitch right over there at Kyle's house when she said it. I'm just telling you, okay? Bose asked Dorit, did she talk to PK about what Jagger said? She said that she texted PK about getting to a friendly place for the kids, and she said he didn't reply. And so she said the next day she texted him and said, "Really, PK, you're not going to reply?" And because she says that he's in London, and she said that he texted her back that I'm at a friend's wedding. Have a nice day. And so Bose told her to be prepared. Okay. Next, we get a scene with Kyle. Kyle meets with Mauricio. They go to a shooting range. She said that Mauricio wants her to have a firearm because she's staying alone and by herself. You know, I believe that too. I believe that I believe everybody, but especially a woman living on their own should have a firearm. I bought my mama one, and my best friend, she is buying a house, and once she get her house and my money is right, I'm going to buy her a firearm. But she my best friend, I'm gonna buy her a firearm. I'm gonna make sure that she have a firearm over there staying in the house by herself. She, I asked her, did she have one? Because that's what I'm giving her, and she told me no, that she didn't really want one, but I do think that she needs one. And I think that, I don't know, I do believe that a woman needs one. You just never know what can happen. And I just think I just would feel comfortable. My sister has one. My great grandmother was 94 years old. She traveled with one in her purse. Okay. And I don't even believe that if she could pull the trigger, but she had one on her. Okay. Kyle finds it hard that she's living in a house because she's the only one there. All of the kids are grown and Mauricio is gone. So it feels different. In my opinion, I mean, I'm not trying to minimize what Kyle is going through, but I do feel like she would have still been going through this even if her and Mauricio were still together. I think that Kyle built her life around being there for her children and Mauricio. And even when the children grow up, Mauricio was still going to have to work and travel because now the agency is just not based out of Los Angeles anymore. It's worldwide now. So it's worldwide now. So he was still going to have to work and travel, and she was going to have to find some hobbies and stuff to do. Or a new meaning in life. It was going to be a different time. The kids are going to grow up. I think that she was hoping for Farrah to be married now and have a kid. And, Farrah is in real estate, and she was hoping that Farrah probably would need a babysitter so she could start, babysitting Farrah's children while she was out working and trying to make herself a career woman. But, you have to do things to make yourself fulfilled. And I think that a lot of women go through this, especially single moms. I mean, even though, my mom is not a housewife, I think that she is struggling, being at the house by herself now. All of our siblings and stuff are grown up and she's a single woman, and so I do think that I do know that it can sometimes be lonely. So I do sympathize with Kyle a little bit, but I think that she would have been going through this by herself, whether she was with Mauricio or not, because Mauricio is just not, he travels a lot. Now, I think that Mauricio has legitimate business outside of whatever PK got going on. Okay. Next, we got Bose. Bose is filming with Keely. They went out to eat. Bose basically told Keely,
I'm not playing with you. I want my eggs cracked, meaning I want a child. I want my name dropped, meaning I want to be married. I'm not around with you.
Keely says, thank you for not pressuring me. And I'm looking around because this sounds like Bose was basically pressuring him to me. How do we feel about Bose so far? Honestly and truthfully, Bose on her own outside of Dorit, how do we feel about Bose? And do we think Bose, is she really holding her own weight on the show? I mean, I would rather Bose show us something else in her storyline instead of what's going on with her and Keely, if I'm being honest.
I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying at all.
It says, I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in what's going on with her and Keely at all. Is that bad? Don't try to. I don't want to hear y'all saying, "Oh, black love, black love, black love." Listen, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I think that Bose came on the show as a boss and a career woman. I want to see Bose be a boss and a career woman. You know what I'm saying? I said it again. But I want to see her be a career woman and a boss and show us boss. I don't want her storyline or every time we see her as being tied to Keely. I don't want to see that. Okay. Next, we on Sutton's trip. So the girls are going to the LAX VIP. Garcelle is the first one there, and then Kyle and Dill Sutton. Okay. They're not flying private. They're catching a red eye to Augusta. Okay. Next, we get to Sutton's home. Now, when I saw Sutton's home and I saw that house, I initially thought that this was the house that Sutton grew up in. This is her mama house. And in my head, I was sure that Sutton was Master's granddaughter. In my head, I was sure. But once she started assigning rooms and Garcelle had a room to sleep in, I knew that this wasn't her mama's house. I knew this wasn't her mama's house. That's when it clicked for me. This is not Sutton's mama's house. And that her mama, that this was a house that she probably bought. And so she then let us know that she bought the house with Christian. But I just don't think that Sutton's mother, she just doesn't strike me as the type of woman who would sleep under the same roof as Garcelle. You get my drift? I mean, I do see her sleeping in the same house as Garcelle if Garcelle was sleeping in the kitchen. If you get what I'm trying to say. If you're picking up what I'm throwing down. That'll seem to be the only reason why she'll sleep in the same house with Garcelle. But otherwise,
I don't see it.
Okay. Reba came over with her man. Okay. Reba got a man, which is probably why she don't miss Sutton's daddy. Okay. Garcelle and Kyle, they greeted Reba and her man. Now Sutton greeted Reba, but she didn't really greet or hug on Reba's man like that. She just said, hey. Okay. Now when Reba greeted Kyle, she told Kyle that she was pretty. And Garcelle said, how come she didn't say that to me?
Loser.
You know, no shade, but could it be that she really thought that Kyle was pretty and she didn't think the same about Garcelle? I'm not doubting that Garcelle isn't a great looking woman. So don't think that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that everybody else doesn't have to think so. Or do you think that Garcelle think that she didn't say it to her because she was black?
Wait a minute now.
Like, let me know. I feel, the thing is, when we have these conversations on shows like this, the race is going to be brought up. Garcelle saying that to me, that was the dog whistle to me. I felt like Garcelle was trying to say, how come she didn't say that to me? I'm the model. Tell me what y'all think Garcelle meant by what she said. Okay? Or if I'm reaching. I feel like that's how I feel. That Garcelle was trying to bring attention to what she said Kyle was pretty. Girl, I'm the model of here. She didn't say it to me. Even if she was trying to be polite, she should have said it to me. Okay? I will say this about Garcelle, though. When I'm around my friends' parents, for me, it's just yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I don't really have a lot of back and forth or give my friends' parents any type of lip or anything like that or try to be like smart aleck with them or do any of that. But I do feel like Garcelle was doing a lot with Reba. I felt like that she was talking to Reba like she was one of her friends. And yeah, Garcelle is a 50-something-year-old woman. I don't play with people's parents and stuff like that. I don't. Me personally, it's just yes, ma'am, no. But I'm raised Southern. And it's just, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Unless they get disrespectful to me, I'll just walk off. Don't put your hands on me, though. But if you get disrespectful and talking crazy, whatever, I'll just remove myself, me personally. They greet, and Garcelle and Reba is saying that they heard so much about each other. And Garcelle says, I hope you heard good things about me, I hope. And she said, yeah, we'll see. I say, oh, okay. Garcelle ended up getting a gift for Reba. And Reba seemed like she didn't really want it. And Reba gave me very straight up, I don't play no games. Because she was like, is this a gift? Is this a snake? Is this a snake? Is this a gift? And it was a scarf And Reba basically was, girl, what I'm gonna do with this? What I'm gonna do with this gift? Now, in the after show, they said that Sutton said that Reba regifted the scarf to her for Christmas.
I do. Fuck you. Come on.
They didn't, I don't think that the women realized that Reba lived on the property. And so Reba and Reba and Sutton go and show Kyle and Garcelle the house that's on the property in the back. Okay. And they were still talking, and Garcelle expressed her love for Reba's grandchildren, which is Sutton's children. And Reba was like, yeah, I love them too. But she basically said that Sutton's youngest son is kind of weird. And Garcelle gonna sit up there and say, I have a weird child too.
Sit your ass down.
Garcelle really be pissing me off when she be trying to relate to these women and end up throwing her children under the bus. Remember her first season on the show, she was trying to relate to the women, and that's how we found out Oliver was over there on drugs and doing drugs real bad. You know, now she's trying to say that she got a weird child. Okay? Now, and Reba said, yeah, I know. I've seen him. Now, Garcelle said in the confessional, she think that Garcelle was talking about Jax. But Reba, just like me and the rest of y'all, we know good goddamn well she was talking about Oliver, the crackhead. Yes, baby. That's what she was talking about. She was talking about Oliver. And the thing is, Garcelle, if the conversation would have got deeper, you would have gotten offended, because if Reba would have clarified which child she was talking about, because everybody thinks their children is perfect, you know? And if you would have said that one of your children was weird, and she would have gotten to clarifying who she was talking about and basically told you which child she was talking about was weird, and you would have asked her why she thought that she was weird, you probably would have been offended. You shouldn't have even opened up that door, because I believe that she was talking about Oliver. And if she would have threw back into me, that's why I would have never told nobody on this show about nothing about my child being on no drugs or nothing like that. That's up to the child. Because if she would have threw that back in your face that he was weird because he was on drugs and stuff, girl, or she would have threw it in my face if he was mine, you probably wouldn't have did nothing unless it was Jax or Jade. But if it was mine, I would have been, baby, I would have jumped on Reba out there. Okay? But next we get to Kathy's house. She's having a dinner. Dorit shows up, and then Bose shows up, and Bose looked so good. Y'all know I'm a sucker for an updo. She looked so good. She had an updo in her head, and she had on this orange outfit. It looked perfect on her skin. She just looked amazing to me. Erica Jane showed up, and Erica Jane looked good. She looked good in this scene, but she really looks good in the scene that she did with Garcelle, where they was getting IV drips. Erica is looking good. That Ozempic is working, mama. Okay. I believe that in Bose's and Dorit's mind, that they thought that the group was coming to Kathy's house as a collective. They thought that everybody was showing up. But they found out that Sutton took Kyle and Garcelle to Augusta. And they seem to be upset about it.
What is the fucking big deal?
I just feel like that this is the same petty stuff that Garcelle and Sutton was doing when Dorit and Bose were becoming friends. People take trips all the time without the whole cast. I remember Nene. Remember when Nene felt after she did the Donald Trump show, after she did Celebrity Apprentice, and she took Candy and Cynthia to Miami, and she had them thinking that she was getting ready to buy a mansion, a $10 million mansion in Miami. And Candy said, girl, you think you ready to jump out there like that? And she said,
I can do it.
And then I remember when Karen had took Giselle and Ashley to Surrey when they had that parade, and she was going to be in a parade. So I just don't understand. But Kathy expressed that she had just came back from Capri, and the theme for the dinner was going to be lemon. And when I tell you that Kathy is I love the way that Kathy had the girl sitting. Kathy had on a dress with lemons on it. She had real lemons on the table with name place cards dipped inside the lemons. They had lemon pasta. It was like everything. The theme was lemon, and it was lemon everywhere.
Come on, give it up! Give it up! Give it up! Give it up!
Next, we got to talk about Sutton. Sutton she's just not that girl. Okay? I think that Sutton is only a fan favorite because of the money that she got. And she essentially fits the mold of what people think that a good housewife is, and that's wealth. But Sutton, she cannot have it both ways. She's a Karen through and through. And you just can't have it both ways because in one breath, Sutton throws around her money. She brags about the boards and stuff that she's on and her stores and stuff and what she's been able to do with her money because she's only on those boards because she got money. She was only able to build that store because she got money. And she throws it around as if it favors her or makes her more important than the other women. But then you get upset when people gravitate or favor Christian, which is her ex-husband, because he is the reason, or he is the reason for the lifestyle that you live today. Okay. She said that she told her mother that she was divorcing Christian, and she said that her mother asked her who was going to pay for all this. And I do think that that was a valid question because Christian was the one who was making sure that Reba was being taken care of, you know? But I don't think that it should have been the first question, but I do think it was a valid question. I think that Reba also needs to be worried about her well-being. Is that harsh? I mean, he was taking care of everything. He was the provider. He was providing for Reba. So who's gonna make sure that she's okay? Is she gonna have to start back working? You gotta let her know. You gotta let her know what was going on. I do kind of get it a little bit, but no, Sutton Sutton's just not that girl. She's only able, I think that Sutton has went through life not being that girl. And once she divorced Christian, she was able to pay her way through stuff and use her money to buy her this fame that she always wanted. And I really do think that's the issue that she's having over here with Kyle. Is that Kyle, the biggest issue that she has with Kyle is that Kyle is the OG of this show. And no matter how much money she gets, she can flaunt her wealth around and be a fan favorite, but you can never take the OG status away from Kyle. You can never take the OG status away from Kyle. Kyle was here since day one. Okay? Garcelle said in the after show that if her mother was still living when she found out that her ex-husband was cheating, that her mother would have told her to turn a blind eye to the situation because she had 2 young kids at the time. And I get it. She said that's how it was back in the day. But I don't think that's how it was back in the day. I think that's how it was for some women. It's just so amazing because I remember when she said that, I immediately thought about when Gia, DJ Envy's wife, when she was on lip service, and she said that if her mother did not have dementia, when she found out that DJ Envy was cheating on her with Erica Mena, she said that her mother would have made her leave DJ Envy. So I don't think, on one hand, I do think that you got some women who feel like, girl, stay with your husband, stay with your marriage. He working, he doing this, he doing that. Just turn a blind eye to it. A man gonna be a man. And you got some women who like, hell no.
Look, you messing with the wrong bitch, okay?
It's two different things. 2 different mindsets. I remember my dad went to jail when I was 3, almost 4 years old. And I remember there's 3 of us. And I remember asking my mom a couple of years ago, how did you feel when my dad went to jail and we were so young? And she said, I felt free and relieved. I didn't have to put up with, someone having to parent children with somebody else or having to consider what somebody else wanted to do and trying to bogart a situation when my mom was the main one who was doing everything. Because my mom, she was the main one who was taking care of us, like day-to-day hands-on. My dad was providing, but when you're not really around and you have a say-so, it could be difficult. But she said that she felt relieved and she felt free. So Sutton is still at the table telling the girls about the relationship with her mama. Did you catch the shade that Kyle threw with her eyes when she looked at Garcelle? Garcelle was telling Sutton, you built that store on your own. And Kyle kind of made a face.
Ooh, is that shade, Phaedra?
The truth is Sutton built the store on her own with the help of Christian's money. And that's just the truth. And to be true, for which we don't know if Garcelle, because Garcelle married for 10 years. I don't know if she was married for 10 years, but we don't know what type of alimony checks that Garcelle is getting to say that she built the beach house on her own. She probably did, though. I don't think that she was married for 10 years, but, you know, yeah, she probably built it on her own. She probably built it on her own. I mean, I do think that, yeah, she I don't know. We got to go and see how much is Garcelle getting from her husband, her ex-husband. Okay. Garcelle says that she wants to have a conversation with Reba. That she has gotten to know Sutton and she wants to know if Reba and Sutton can bridge that gap. I think that Garcelle needs to mind her own business. Because truthfully, you're only getting one side of the story. You're only getting what Sutton is telling you. And you don't really know if what Sutton is saying is true. You just could go by what she's telling you. And I don't think that you should get down there playing with Reba. Because I feel like you're going to get down there playing with Reba and she's going to tell you,
you need to go home. You need to go home.
You need to go home.
okay? So we back at Kathy's house. And Bose is telling Kathy that she find Kyle to be cold. That she find Kyle to be cold because she's connected with Dorit. I think that Bose is making shit up. I think that Bose is upset that Kyle walked out of her house. As she should be, and she's upset that Kyle didn't apologize. And you need to say that, but to say that she has been cold to you is a lie. From what we've seen on the show, I feel like Kyle has welcomed you. I remember when you came to Kyle's party, Kyle looked like she was so happy. You hit her on the butt, you tapped her on the butt, and she didn't realize it was you. And when she turned around, she was so happy. She opened her arms to you. She sent you flowers. After your fibroid, she came over there and filmed with you. Y'all have only had one bad interaction from what I seen when she left your event at your house. So I don't really see her being cold. I think that you making stuff up, and I just don't see it. I think she has tried to get to know you, and I think it's unfair to make statements like that because they hold so much weight. Kathy, and if I'm Kathy, I probably would have kicked Bose about my house. You're not about to come in my house and try to play on my sister's name in front of my face. Point blank and period. You're not about to come in my house and play about my sister or my brother. You could go. Okay? Kathy says that this is a very traumatic time for Kyle, that she's been married her whole life, and she doesn't try to push the issue or really invade her privacy of what's going on. She just basically let her share what she want to share, and she just wants Kyle to feel loved and supported by her. Okay? And so Kathy changes the subject. Kathy played this kooky role, but she was basically giving, girl, y'all not about to play on my sister's top like that, and she ain't here, and I'm not about to let you do it. What's going on with you, Dorit? That's why we here. And Dorit says, my life is shitty. When me and PK decided to separate, we said that we was going to work on the resentment and the issues that we had, and I was very protective of my husband and my family, and Kathy called the man PJ. She said my PJ and PK is all the same, girl. Kathy is something else. Okay. And Kathy basically says, I'm sure he's a good father. And Dorit says, no, he's a bad dad.
Wow.
It can be.
Really?
He's not a good daddy. He's not hands-on. We already knew that, though. I already knew that PK wasn't a bad daddy. And most important, I already knew that PK wasn't a hands-on great father, and most importantly, Dorit knew it because PK has 3 older children. We never seen him on the show, and it seems like he divorced their mother around the same time, or when they was around the same ages as Phoenix and Jack. And he never mentioned them. They never been on the show. We done seen Boy George time after time after time, but we ain't never seen PK older kids over here on the show at all. Okay, but some men relationships with their children are dependent on a relationship with their mother. It don't really matter the race, and that's just the truth. And she said that PK disappears for weeks and weeks at a time and don't even call the children, but that means that he disappeared for weeks and weeks at a time and he doesn't even call you. That's what I get from it. What you mean he disappeared for weeks and weeks at a time and don't call the children? Is he calling you? Because you're exposing that as well. And it seems that you was okay with that as long as you was with PK because you didn't want to be alone. Okay? She said that PK sent her an email stating that in a couple of months or two that she would be financially responsible for the mortgage and other bills.
Oh my God.
I don't think that this means that she's not able to stand on her own. I think it's the same thing that Ashley was telling Candace at the reunion. You know, if I was on my own, I probably perhaps would have bought or chosen a different home. But with his money, I chose the house that was $2 million. Yeah, I did. But this explains why it was reported earlier this season that they was 4 months behind on their mortgage. Okay? Dorit is a bill though. Every time they keep on showing this stuff, when they showed the flashback earlier in the episode, at the beginning of the episode, PK was saying that Dorit was not as high maintenance as she is now when she met him. And he probably met Dorit and he was paying for Dorit. She probably really didn't have no money or nothing like that.
So how do I get, bitch?
And he showed her a different lifestyle. And now him having money, she was used to a lifestyle. And now she's getting money on her own. She's still trying to keep that lifestyle up. You know, she feel like that she has more of a say-so now in the lifestyle since she's contributing. Bose asked her, does she think that PK still wants to be married to her? And she said no. And Erica Jane basically said, her girl, well, what you waiting for? She said, we've been married for 9.5 years, and I found out that there's a law in Cali that's called after 10 years is community property. And that he's trying to divorce me before the 10 years so she won't get half. And Erica Jane said in California, she believes if you were married for 10 years, that's considered a long-term marriage, and the spouse has to pay spousal support forever. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they had to pay it forever. Okay? Erica Jane said, girl, I'm not about to bullshit you. I'm worried about you. I'm not about to bullshit you. I know what's coming for you, and you need to protect yourself. PK is not your partner or your friend. He is your adversary, and it's a fucked up place to be in, but that's where you are. Please be proactive and make decisions for yourself, or he will make them for you. And she said, I'm preaching to you because I should have done better for myself, but I didn't because I was paralyzed by fear. Okay? And at the end of everything that Dorit has shared about what has been going on with her and PK, she still is wishfully thinking that they can still salvage their relationship because she told Erica Jane, don't you think I have to be sure that I don't want him back?
I don't know. Take what you want from that. That's what he said.
All right.
I love the faces.
And Erica Jane had to show her tough love and tell her basic girl, he don't want you back. He don't want you. Everything that you have told us, that you have said here and told us, tells us that he doesn't want you. And when I tell you, I learned to keep my mouth closed unless it's like my best friend. Because, oftentimes, when people are telling me stories about their spouses and exes, I learned that people don't want you to be honest with them. Well, I'm not going to say people. Some people don't want you to be honest with them. Sometimes people just want to vent. And I'm not equipped to hear a whole bunch of bad news and venting and negativity all the time. And I try to do the same to people. I don't want to hear a bunch of bad news and negativity, or I don't try to vent to people when I'm going through stuff. I be going through stuff. People don't think that I be going through stuff, but I be going through stuff. I just don't want to vent to people, or, if somebody's having a good day and I'm just raining on their day with my drama and the stuff that I got going on. You know what I'm saying? I try not to do it. And sometimes what I've learned in the last couple of years is sometimes people can tell you stuff and they're venting to you and they're telling you something in this conversation, but it's not to be brought up again. Have y'all ever done that? I feel like we're getting off subject, but have y'all ever told somebody something that you was very vulnerable in the moment and it was just hot and fresh on your mind, and you said it to somebody, and now they're trying to quote unquote check in on whatever you told them that was just supposed to be on this one conversation, never be brought up again. I don't like stuff like that. So I just try to, whenever I'm going through stuff, I just try to keep it to myself, because you don't want to be on a high on life and a person that messed up your mood by bringing up something that you didn't really want to be brought up again, that you was just venting about. But Dorit, back to Dorit. I don't know why I just went off like that. I don't think that Dorit wants to hear what these women, the advice that they're giving her. I think that she wants to get back with PK. I already told y'all, I think that Dorit is the type of woman who, whatever PK says, she will agree to whatever he says do if she can still be back with him. She doesn't want to really divorce him. She still wants him there, which is why he had to break away from her slowly. If it was me, I would have told I would have told Dorit, girl, be ready at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I would have took her to have your shit ready at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna surprise you. Just be ready at 8 o'clock, and I would have took her to an attorney's office, and we would have made sure that she filed that day. And I do think that Sutton would have told her. I believe that if Sutton was here and she would have shared this advice, and shared what she was going through with Sutton, Sutton would have came over there that next day, girl, and been telling you, girl, we need to go file immediately. But the question that I got is, do PK got some money? Do PK got some money? What he got? What you plan on getting? What are y'all splitting up? What is the community property? Because the house y'all got, y'all don't own, which is why y'all for 4 months behind on y'all mortgage. And I don't think that PK got no money like that. I think that PK probably got some money to take care of PK, but I believe that PK ain't worried about you and them kids. I honestly and truthfully, I don't think that PK worried about her and the kids like that. That's why he left. But y'all, that was the episode. I thought that it was a great episode. I did. I like these girls. Y'all, please like the video. Please like the video, y'all. It'll help me out. And y'all, that's all I got for right now. I really appreciate the love and support, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Adios.
Call Daddy. Tell him 25. Call Daddy.